Good morning and happy Motivation Monday, guys. This is Trainer Nick checking in with you guys. Hopefully you are having a good Monday morning. Today is Monday, December 28th. More importantly, hopefully you guys had a great Christmas. Nice little Christmas weekend there. Hopefully you guys got to spend some time with family and loved ones. I know depending on what states you're in, that may or may not have been easy to do, right? I'm in California, so a lot of families didn't come together as closely as we normally would. So a little weird, but everybody's working with it differently in these times that we're living in with COVID here. So hopefully you guys had a great Christmas with your families. Today is December 28th. The quote of this week is from actor Mickey Rooney. It says, "You'll always pass failure on the way to success." And I love that, right? I mean, you guys have all seen that as you've been growing in your businesses, but you have to fail. You have to fall on your face. There's actually an ongoing joke with my team. Anytime somebody makes a mistake, oh, don't worry, Nick's already made that mistake, and I try to make every mistake once and then never twice, right? And so it just means that you're trying. It means that you're learning. And so I love that quote. With that, let's go ahead and get started here, guys. So happy Motivation Monday. We have a tip of the week, generally kind of same tip that we normally do. We have some sales shout outs, year-end wrap up, just a couple little tidbits to go over at the end of the year. Make sure that your head's right coming into the end of the year here. And kind of prepping and focusing on 2021, right? And then the survey at the end there. Okay. So tip of the week, and I know hopefully during open enrollment, you guys are all utilizing this, but the preferred rating system for the short-term plans for NatGen, I do see that there were a lot of sales for it. And so it looks like everybody was taking advantage of that. So hopefully everybody was really focused on those, especially if you had those customers that prior had health insurance and met the weight standards and everything like that. Really great. And it just opens up a price point that makes it really hard to compete with there. So hopefully you guys all knew that already. If you didn't, make sure that you go into NatGen, quote some short term, and check that out. So our sales stats, we haven't gotten new stats for a couple weeks here. So we're rocking off of old stats here from December 14th week. But short term was NatGen, NGL Prime Care was Limited Med. We had Plan Enhancer from NatGen as our top accident plan. Critical illness, we had Golden Rule from UHC, and same with dental. We had Golden Rule from UHC. And so you can see with the short term there, I mean, looks like you guys are utilizing the preferred rating system. I mean, just the fact that NatGen's staying number one up there, but continue to utilize that. Again, if you don't know about it, haven't looked at it, you really need to get yourself familiar with that. For our leaders for our sales leaders, we had Kimberly Lucart, Greg Talley, and Brian Greenberg in short term a couple weeks ago. So great job there, guys. Robert Swander and Don Duryea for the Limited Med, and Jeff Franzoni and Gregory Talley for accidents. So great job there, guys. A couple weeks ago, we'll get you some new stats as soon as they're out, but overall, great job. So this one's going to be a little bit quick today, guys. I know most of you are probably going to do a little bit this week about what I'm going to talk about in here. So we just want to kind of do a review for 2020. Make sure that you guys are doing everything right to end your 2020 and then position yourselves right for 2021 here. Obviously, what a crazy year, right? You can see the angel in the top right over there, Kobe from Cali. So that's a big one for me. The loss of Kobe really kicked off our year. and then it just got crazy. Toilet paper. Those were fun times back in March. But it's just been a crazy year with coronavirus, right? And so what a blessing that we work in an industry where, when so many of our friends and family members were impacted by this virus, we work in an industry that was actually booming during this time, and we have the ability to work from home and really continue to help people and continue to run our business, even in the midst of a crazy year, right? So what a cool year, and really, make sure you guys take time for that, right? So let's jump into that a little bit. So, the first thing I'm going to have you do here at year end, and this is so important, is to review, right? You need to look back on 2020. And this is for everything, guys. I mean, I'm not saying just look back at open enrollment here. I'm saying go all the way back to January. I mean, we're looking back at all of 2020 here, okay? Celebrate the victories that you had in the year. And these can be victories on any level, guys. I mean, these can be personal development victories. These can be victories as far as sales numbers in your business. Shoot, these can be victories in relationships made, right? But look back. And I mean, it's really good to do month by month. Start in January, then go to February. Like, try to call out something that happened in each of the months of this year, if you can remember, and really celebrate those victories that you had, as big or small as they may be. It's so important. Pat yourself on the back. We've all grown over this past year. I mean, every single one of us, on both a personal and a professional level. So celebrate those. Then also, part of the review, guys, is how can we improve our business, right? Were there things that happened in 2020 that we could have been better prepared for? And I'm not talking about COVID, because I don't think any of us could have been really prepared for that, right? But how can we improve our business going forward? And, a lot of that sometimes, guys, is setting some money aside for that, right? And so hopefully that you guys had a good open enrollment, and, hopefully that you got some ideas. But if you don't have ideas, look back on the victories of 2020, and then where were your shortcomings? Was there anything that you could have done, or is there anything that if your business had this, it might have saved you from that? And maybe this is the time to start looking at do I add that to my business? How do I improve my business, right? And so it's so important, guys. First step here, before anything, before the year ends, is you got to review. You got to see where were you at? Where did you come from? Where did you get to? And then where are we going, right? And so the next part is planning. So before I start planning for the business of 2021, you guys need to work your follow-up process. And the cool thing, the way we've set this up, we're going to take a week off because New Year's for next week. When we come back on January 11th, we're going to actually do a couple Motivation Mondays talking about follow-ups and follow-up process and how to really improve that for you guys. So, you won't want to miss those. Be looking out for those. We're going to help you through that. But the big thing, guys, is you got to work a follow-up process. We just had open enrollment. Make sure you're capturing these customers. Sometimes, not sometimes, this happens actually more frequently than I'd like to admit. I hear all the time that brokers, you work hard during open enrollments, then you go, you take care of yourself, and you go and take vacation, you relax, you step away for a second, and that is great. I actually talk about that in an upcoming slide here. But I hear so often customers that get left out in the rain, and they just signed up with you, and then they're unable to get a hold of you for a week or two there. And that's not the process you want to have, guys. Work your follow-ups before you go reward yourself, right? Make sure that you've touched all of your customers. Make sure that they know that you're there for them, and make sure that they've got everything that they need, right? That's so, so important. Make sure you roll that into your process there. This one's a really fun one, and not enough people do this, especially since we work in an industry where we can kind of work on our own, right? Because network with other agents, and especially if there's names that you're seeing on leaderboards, if there's somebody that you've heard or seen something from and you really enjoyed it, reach out, guys. Um, Part of planning is really coming together as a community of insurance agents here and talking with each other, right? You're going to learn stuff from each other. And that goes both ways. Nobody, even the top agent, doesn't have a foolproof plan. They're constantly learning, constantly evolving. And so network with other agents, talk about open enrollment. What did they do that they really liked? What issues did they run into? And maybe you guys have some things in common. And how did you guys work through that, right? How did you guys overcome these obstacles? And you'd be surprised. You'll learn a lot, and you guys will help each other. So make sure that you get some partners in this industry, and especially in this, I'm going to call it downtime, right? Although there's really never downtime, but after open enrollment here, there might be a little bit of time to make sure that you're taking time for your business, and part of that is networking, because that's going to help improve your business. And then any part of planning, guys, is setting our goals for next year, right? Now, a big part of setting our goals for 2021 is looking at what we accomplished in 2020, right? So if we look at what we accomplished in 2020, we want to do better than that, right? Nobody wants to stay stagnant. So use what you did in 2020 to make sure that we're setting better goals for 2021. And you got to set up a plan to get there, right? I mean, it's not just, well, I'm just going to throw a number on a piece of paper. How do we get to that number? What does that mean monthly? What does that mean weekly? What do you got to do in your business to hit that goal? And it's so important, but you still want to allot yourself time in that plan to take time for yourself, right? You're still going to want to take vacation. You're still going to want to take time away for your family. Maybe if you got kids, sports, whatever it might be. But those got to be rolled into the goals too, right? I mean, maybe your goal is be able to spend more time with the family. And so it's setting a better work-life balance there and setting boundaries. Maybe it's working harder while at work so that you don't have to kind of bleed that into your home life, but set your goals for 2021 and really get going on those. And then the last one here, guys, and I purposely put this last, right? Make sure that you're doing the other stuff first, but the last one is to rest, right? So often I've got to talk to my brokers and say, guys, you killed it. You had an amazing open run. Now take time, okay? You really have to be intentional with your time away, okay? So many of you, myself included, you just work, and you're going to drive yourself mad. And hopefully that was your mindset during open enrollment. Work, grind. I know agents that were working 12 to 16-hour days, 7 days a week. And if that was you, God bless you, right? But now reward yourself. Take some time, okay? Also, guys, show the appreciation. Give back to your community, right? Especially those of you that had an amazing 2020, had a great open enrollment, right? Give back to your community. You've been given so much in this industry, and giving back to your communities, one, it's good for the soul. It's really good for the soul. But more importantly, guys, it's I won't say it's free advertising because you're giving back, but it's advertising too for your business. You're helping your community, and you're also getting your name out there for your business. And so part of your time away is really giving back to your community though too. And sometimes it could be money, sometimes it could be time. But find a way to get involved and to give back to your community. You don't always have to be selling. but find ways to really impact your communities. And then, guys, where I say celebrate friends and family, I don't say celebrate with friends and family. I'm saying celebrate your friends and family. For those of you that have worked so hard this year, and especially in open enrollment, celebrate the friends and family that stuck with you, that encouraged you, that knew that you were going to be grinding really hard over this couple month period of time here, that you might be unavailable, that you might miss a couple things, right? Well, now's the time to give back to them. Now's the time to let them know how thankful we are for them, right? So make sure that we're celebrating our loved ones, the people that stuck with us through this. Let them know how thankful we are to have them in our lives, and how thankful we are that they were there to help us on the days we didn't know if we could keep going, right? I mean, we were just drained, right? So important. So all of this goes into just kind of taking time for yourself, but make sure that we're doing the other steps first. Review your plan for 2021. Make sure your clients have been contacted, in touch, and know how to get a hold of you. And then take time for yourself and your family. Okay. Guys, happy 2020 or end of 2020 here. I know it was a crazy year. I can't wait for 2021. I don't want to jinx anything, so I'm not going to go too far into that. But so excited to see what we do as a company and as a team in 2021. Guys, happy Motivation Monday. Have a wonderful week here. It's New Year's this week, so hopefully you guys have an amazing New Year. Happy New Year's to you guys. And then we'll see you in 2021 talking about some follow-up processes. And we'll go from there. So hopefully you guys have a great rest of the year here, a great last week of the year, and we will see you in 2021. Take care, guys. This is again Trainer Nick. Happy Motivation Monday.